Hi everybody, welcome to extended storm coverage on WUSA9 Plus streaming platform, and we're going to kind of give you a little bit of the behind the weather scenes of the forecast for those of you that are a little more interested in exactly the timing and what's causing some of this rain that is going to be moving our way. Of course, a lot of folks have a lot of plans today and really for the entire day when we have a weather impact alert that's in effect. By the way, I'm meteorologist Jonathan Myers, if you haven't been watching us all morning. And you see here on our Doppler radar this morning, we're actually, you may hear some background noise because we're coming to you live here from the newsroom now, so a little bit of a different venue. But on the radar right now, you're actually seeing some of the rain here, Route 1 all the way to the eastern side of the Beltway, Bowie, Annapolis, back to Fairfax, Manassas, Warrenton, and then Rockville, Germantown, Laurel, Annapolis Way. All these areas getting some pretty good downpours right now, and we will continue to see the on and off rain as we head through the remainder of the morning, heavy at times, and then heading into the afternoon. Things will probably begin to lighten up. We zoom out a little bit, and you'll see here on 95 and points to the north up toward Baltimore. There's a lot of yellow here, also along Route 50. There's plenty of rain if you're going out toward, say, Annapolis. Then down 95 toward Fredericksburg, there's light rain and drizzle. That's what comes for this afternoon. Frederick to Hagerstown, there's also some heavier rain along the 81 corridor back down to Winchester. So be ready again for the potential of getting some downpours this morning through the midday through about 1, 2 o'clock. And then things should begin to lighten up. Of course, if you do have any pictures or videos you want to share with us, you can upload those to the Near Me section, or you can join our Facebook page, which is our WUSA9 Weather Watchers page. You can do that by going to WUSA9.com/weatherwatchers and sign up there. But again, plenty of rain falling across the DMV does lighten up, and that's what comes for later on this afternoon. That's what's around Fredericksburg, and again, points to the south and west. We've already seen a pretty good dousing here in this area in blue. Fairfax, Manassas, Chantilly, Haymarket, all these areas in blue, that's 1 to 2 plus inches of rain, and that all really fell overnight and into this morning. 1.2 inches of rain up around Leesburg already, and then here in the district, we've been hanging around about the half-inch mark or so. Some of the bigger downpours have really been, thus far at least, south and west of the district. So we'll continue to stack up more rainfall through the remainder of at least the midday hours in terms of potentially some heavier rain, but then we'll lighten up to more so of a drizzle into the afternoon commute. Look at all of the rain. This is a system that's really harnessing a lot of moisture from down across the Gulf Stream. You can really see here around Ocean City, Norfolk, Richmond, Charlottesville, all this rain beginning to kind of arc northbound, but kind of the origination point is down to the south of the Outer Banks, goes all the way up to Harrisburg, Philadelphia, Atlantic City. You can see here on the wider scope that we've got, again, there's that Atlantic moisture connection that I was talking about that goes all the way down south. And then again, there's more around this big old circulation, and we're going to see, just like the past, unfortunately, couple of systems. For those of you that don't like the rain, this is going to be one of these systems that kind of, you can kind of get a picture of what I'm talking about, gets cut off from the highway of winds that's pushing it across the country. Right now, it's kind of jammed up, stuck right near Minneapolis area, southeastern Minnesota, and in the center. If I put my finger there, you'll see it's just not moving very much. So we'll continue to spiral in. First, this big band of moisture that we see today, that's the on and off rain with the weather impact alert. Tomorrow, we're in a little bit more of a void. You see here Cincinnati down to Atlanta, all the way up to West Virginia. This could lead to a couple of isolated thunderstorms, especially in the afternoon heating of the day, where we could be up around 80 degrees for our high temperature. But then there's a bigger risk of showers and storms coming in from St. Louis to Chicago. That's kind of the core of the system that'll pass through likely on Friday afternoon. There's even, especially from the district south and east, a marginal level 1 of 5 risk of severe weather. We'll have to see if that increases, but there is a potential that that could, I'm thinking, increase a little bit higher if we get enough sunshine and enough instability in our atmosphere as that big core of energy comes through. So let's go ahead and take a look at the heavy rain potential for today. Again, the weather impact alert is all day Wednesday. Heaviest rain, that's kind of what we call our critical timing. That's going to be between about 6 a.m. and 2 p.m. So we're right in the heart of that time right now. Downpours will be between about 1 inch and 2 inches of rain. We've already seen that, as I showed you there on the radar in some spots. We're going to tack on more where that came from. The isolated instances of street flooding will continue. You're going to need some extra commute time. You're going to need your rain gear. I would also, I always advise this on air, download the WUSA9 Plus, or the, if you're watching us now, you probably already have the WUSA9 Plus app on your television, but there's also the WUSA9 app, our news app that goes on your cell phone. And that's going to help you to zoom in on the radar just like we did here on our stream. You can actually get right down at street level and see where that rain is going. So you can kind of take the weather with you on the go, if you will. So let's plan things out for you right now. Taking a look outside, boy, that rain, it is still coming down at a good clip. 55 degrees, winds out of the east-northeast at about 17 miles an hour. And this is what most folks probably want to see is the future cast. What you don't want to see is probably what's on the future cast, because it looks like a lot of rain and a stiff east wind today. It's not going to be pretty. You see here by about, say, well, we're already kind of through this time frame. Let's take you to about 11:30 a.m. And again, the heaviest of the rain here in the district, all the way down to Joint Base Andrews, Patuxent River, Tappahannock. Temperatures not doing too well, in the 50s to right around 60 degrees here all day long. And then back to Winchester, Front Royal, and Culpeper, still some rain. Then it breaks up a bit as you get a little bit farther off to the west. And that's what comes for this afternoon. So the commute for the afternoon is going to be looking better than what we're seeing for this morning. But again, lunchtime still going to be ugly for getting out and about. By about 12:30, Annapolis down to Patuxent River, Tappahannock, Gaithersburg, Frederick, Westminster, Maryland, up toward Baltimore. If you're up that way, up toward BWI, there could even be flight delays. You're still seeing some of that heavy rain in the orange. In the district, still some pretty good rain coming down at about 12:30, Manassas, but then it breaks up, you see here off to the south and southwest, which is going to mean some improvements as we head into the afternoon trip home. So this means for getting the kids from school. This means for after school activities. I still think a lot of those are going to be canceled if they're outside, or they're going to be brought inside because you're going to have wet field conditions, etc. But again, kind of a light rain drizzle here at 3:30 p.m. and then through about 5, 6 o'clock in the afternoon, still dealing with the potential of more light rain, kind of drizzle conditions up and down the 95 corridor, especially if you get east of the district and east of the Beltway and south and east of 95. That's where you're going to have your most persistent, heaviest showers that are going to stay with us. So that's the worst travel. Better travel as you get farther off to the west. Notice the winds here in the arrows starting to switch northerly. That's a drier direction. So that's what's going to, again, reduce things more so to drizzle than anything else. And then east into Annapolis, Cambridge, Salisbury, you're still getting some pretty good rain there at 8 p.m. But west of the Chesapeake Bay, that's where the showers are beginning to diminish. Still, again, the clouds, still, again, there could be some drizzle by about 8 p.m., but it looks like things will gradually be drying. And then take a look here by about 10 p.m., still a good breeze, still temperatures sticking near 60, but by then it does appear that most showers of drizzle will be coming to an end. Now, how much rain are we going to see in total, I guess, on top of what we've already seen? Again, we've already seen some 1 to 2+ inches in places. Here's the additional amounts. About 1/10 of an inch of rain, Harrisonburg to Luray, about 1/4 inch of Culpeper, 1/3 of an inch of Manassas, about 1/2 inch Gaithersburg here in the district, just shy of an additional 1/2 inch at Frederick, and then about 3/4 of an inch to an inch here at Patuxent River, BWI, Annapolis, La Plata just over a ½ inch of additional rain. Now the next 12 hours, let's take a look. Not looking so good during the daytime at least, but there are improvements you see here by about 9 to 11 p.m. 55 degrees at 11 a.m., 56 at 1. Now mind you, we should be at about 80 for an average this time of year for a high temperature. Yeah, we're about 20 degrees below average today. So you're going to be dressing more like, say, November, October than for May into June. And right about 60 degrees for 5 to 7 to 9 p.m. and then 11 p.m. 60 degrees. But notice by about 9, 10 o'clock, the winds die down a bit, the breezes come down, and the drizzle also begins to dissipate too. So things will get a lot better after about sunset. Let's go ahead and plan things out over the next 7 days for you. Temperatures at 61 for today. Rain, drizzle. We do have the weather impact alert that continues for this afternoon, and that will continue all the way through sunset and then should drop. 80 degrees for tomorrow. We'll see just a stray afternoon thunderstorm. Again, this system is going to shove through a couple of disturbances as it gradually ambles its way out of the Midwest, eventually through the Great Lakes, and eventually here to the East Coast and out to sea. So again, cool temperatures and rainy today, warmer temperatures a little more near average, but still there could be that stray thunderstorm for Thursday afternoon. Friday, looking at some scattered afternoon storms. That could be a little bit more widespread. That's when we have at least a 1 in 5 risk of severe weather from about the district south and east, and then some scattered showers on Saturday left over. 75 for a high. That's kind of a cool day, but sunshine does return, making it feel better with a high 76 on Sunday into early next week. Look at those low to mid 80s that move in. Again, things are really going to be getting a lot better, a lot warmer as we head into late next week. So we could actually be even threatening, it looks like in the 10-day temperature trend by about, say, like Friday, Saturday, could be up close to 90 degrees, if you wouldn't believe it, after what we've been seeing early this week. Now, by the way, some folks may be having some plans. Big concert going on tonight at 6 o'clock at Northwest Stadium. This is the Metallica concert. And when this starts, it's going to be chilly, right near 60 degrees. So you have to have a jacket either way, but expect a potential of an early shower or some drizzle, and then that will taper. Again, I would have a jacket, potentially even a slicker, just in case it could kind of pack along with you, as things will still be kind of wet as you're heading out there. But you know, it's going to be a great concert anyway. A lot of headbanging going on, I'm sure, here at Northwest Stadium. That's kind of my generation, those folks heading out there. So, okay, let's go ahead and let's plan ahead for, we'll take you back in our show here and start over again. For those of you that are just joining us, I want to kind of run you through things here in terms of what we can expect for our weather impact alert Wednesday. I know a lot of folks may not be watching the full stream here, so let's get y'all caught up. You can see, again, the yellow from Mount Airy all the way to Columbia, Laurel, Bowie, Annapolis. So some of this rain since the last time I showed you this radar has moved its way to the north and east just a bit, north and east of Laurel, north and east of Bowie, on 50 right on the approach to the Bay Bridge, and then off onto portions of the eastern shore. That's where some of the worst weather is right now. Heading on into this afternoon, we're going to see kind of more of this drizzle that's down to the south and west begin to move in. So things are going to gradually improve, although that drizzle will probably still keep some of your roadways moist and wet and puddly, and you may still have hydroplaning issues, even though the active heavy rain won't be falling. Now, east of the city, east of the district, we're going to hang on to some of this stuff a little bit longer. So that means that potentially you're going to be dealing with puddling and ponding there for quite some time into the evening commute. So if you're planning ahead, farther down south you get into Virginia, the better your afternoon commute's looking. Farther north and east you head, east of 95, it looks a lot worse. Let's take a look at the 24-hour rainfall you see here in these areas in blue. We'll back out of the way here so you can see some of these spots getting about 1 to 2+ inches of rain. Manassas, Dale City, Fairfax, Chantilly, even Leesburg, just east of Leesburg, getting about 1.2 inches of rain. Some of those darker blues, not seeing any purples yet, but some of those darker blues are on the high side of that 2-inch mark. So that's closing in on almost 3 inches of rain, and there's still more rain to go. Here in the district, we've gotten off okay with about a ½ inch of rain. Now, we do need the rain. We've been dealing with it was a severe drought, now a moderate drought here in the district. And south of the district, we've got just abnormally dry conditions. So that's an improvement of what we've had over the past several months. And this rain is going to help out even more. Potentially, when the new drought monitor comes out on Thursday, if not this Thursday, next Thursday, we may totally alleviate the drought for many of us. About a ½ inch of rain falling thus far at Upper Marlboro, and more to go. About a ½ inch plus just north of Waldorf. So let's take a zoom out here, and again, you can see this big kind of shaft of rain that's moving through the district and really through the entire DMV. The heaviest of the rain east side of the district, south down the Chesapeake Bay. So folks that are trying to cross the Bay Bridge, this is not going to be a very pretty afternoon. On top of that, you got a stiff east and northeast wind coming in about 10 to 15, if not 20 miles an hour. So that's going to buffet you around. So make sure you have 2 hands on the steering wheel there. And then this kind of reduces to more light rain and maybe even some drizzle down 66 and also down 95. 81 corridor, some stark improvements here. Still foggy and drizzly, but again, much lighter rains. This is going to cut off from the south and west. And look at this, some what appears to be at least a little bit of clearing skies here in West Virginia, back to Cincinnati, down to Atlanta. This little break is what we're going to see for tomorrow. So tomorrow afternoon there could be an isolated storm, but it won't be nearly as widespread. It's more so kind of like a pop-up. Then there's kind of the core of this system that's not moving very quickly. This is the problem. Notice around Minneapolis, back to Chicago, that swirl, that's our storm, that's the center of this thing. It is sitting. It is throwing disturbances our way. Number one is today. You can see all that rain coming right off the Gulf of Mexico. So we've got a pretty, or actually I should say off the Gulf Stream, which eventually this moisture connects down to the Gulf of Mexico as well. So it's got a big stream of moisture, big warmth and moisture machine, if you will, that is pushing in with this. So that's why we have the, again, just soaking rain and the prolific cloud cover today. Then tomorrow is a little bit of a break. We make it up to around 80. And then some scattered showers and thunderstorms move in just in time for Friday afternoon. So that's when, again, things could get a little bit worse before they get better over the weekend. Now, our alert today, this is our weather impact alert, goes all day. The heaviest of rain falling until about 2 o'clock, give or take. So until about 2 o'clock, so that's kind of our critical timing, as we like to call it. Our downpours could produce 1 to 2 inches of rain. That's been pretty typical over portions of central and northern Virginia, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that. Also the potential of some street flooding. I would leave some extra commuting time now for the afternoon commute, and you're going to need your rain gear as well. And I'd also download the WUSA9 app on your phone. Take a look here. Right now, 55 degrees. A lot of kind of drizzly rain that's falling on our earth cam with the winds out of the east-northeast at 14 miles an hour. Some pretty good heavy rain coming on through here as you work through the day. Again, this is 11:30 a.m. All the way through about noon to 3 o'clock. You're going to be dealing with more of this rain, heavy at times. Finally beginning to taper just a bit as we head through about 3:30 p.m. and then about 6 p.m. But this is more of kind of a light rain or drizzle. Still going to keep those roads wet likely. And then those northerly winds are going to keep us cool as well, with temperatures barely making it above 60 degrees for today. Probably about 60, 61 here in the district. Now, in terms of additional rainfall totals, the big totals along the eastern shore in Delmarva, about a ½ inch here in the district, a little bit less out to the west, but still, again, bad travel all the way through the PM commute. Temperatures at 55 at 11 a.m. and only around 60 this afternoon. Mind you, it should be closer to 80 for this time of year, and the on and off rain and drizzle continues heaviest through about 2, 3 o'clock this afternoon. Look at your 7-day forecast, 61 with a weather impact alert continuing for today. That'll expire tonight, 80 tomorrow, straight PM storms, scattered storms during the afternoon on Friday. 80 degrees, that's your better risk of rain after today. 75, scattered shower Saturday, and then warming up Sunday to 76 with sunshine, back into the low to mid 80s Monday, Tuesday of next week. And by the way, if you are going to be headed out to the concert, of course, we've got Metallica in town, and that's going to be this evening. Not the best weather ever, but it's going to be better than what we're seeing this morning. I would pack along a poncho and a jacket. Temperatures right around 60 degrees. There will be an early shower or some drizzle by 6 p.m. Wednesday. That's when we still could have some wet conditions. By the time things are wrapping up, say 9, 10, 11 o'clock, we'll be drying out, but it'll still be cool as well. Of course, you're going to be on top of this rain all day long, streaming here on WUSA 9 Plus and on air on WUSA 9.